Hey, what is up everybody, Blades for here, and today for you guys another video of Persona 5X. In today's video guys, we're going to be going ahead and doing the unit review for the girl Winvast here, seeing that she is next in line and up. So if you guys are interested in this, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. And as always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, it really does help me out quite a lot. So we're going to go ahead and go over this character here, in which Winvast immediately, as a good old supporter or a buffer, she has been an amazing addition to the whole cast. Now, many of you may look like, I thought Wind was a 4-star. Well, yes, this is actually a little bit of a canon moment inside of the story that I will not spoil for you guys, that has this version of Wind here. Wind herself was a 4-star, now she is a 5-star, and this is her 5-star variant, and boy oh boy is it amazing. Now, you can't run the two of course together, seeing that you can't run mirror characters like that all together, but what I can say, picking this one is absolutely worth it. His character has some crazy buffs that legitimately made a ton of differences, seeing that she not only was an SP charger, but helped you out with some crit rates, tons of crit damage, and just really kept you into the game quite a lot. This character without a doubt is one of the best characters in the game, especially as a supporter or at least a buffer, and that's something I can say without really regretting any of my decisions. Without a doubt, this character you're going to want to invest in. And so with that brief description out the way, let's go ahead and talk about at least her awarenesses. So when it comes down to the awarenesses here, one of the few things I have to say, of course, is with the duping. One of the few things that I would highly suggest you guys to go for is once again the A1. This character changed a ton once you got her A1 here, and the main reasoning for it is because it allowed her not only to stay with the win teams, but now expand further out into multitude of teams here. Technicality wise, if you have no dupes on this character, you really don't want to take her out of at least a win related team. She's kind of bound at least to be there, seeing that how her awarenesses worked. The only way you can get certain things such as the Wind of Vitality and to activate things like Wither, you would only be able to do so with a wind related character. You would have to deal some wind related damage. Well, at A1, what this allows you to do is actually trigger that whole effect of Wither by using any character with an elemental damage move. So it can be fire, ice, anything like that, you name it, she's actually able to go on that team. The good part about this is, alongside of that, she then also additionally increased crit damage taken to enemies by 30%. It also allowed that if you wanted to put her on an AoE team, this is now absolutely possible, seeing that she actually increases attack for AoE DPS units by 25% whenever you have Under Umbrella activated, which is absolutely amazing. This is probably her best awareness, to be honest, of course, other than A16. So if you can get the A1, it's highly needed. It's highly worth it, and it's definitely worth your buck. So going ahead and talking about at least the A0 here, which is Scatter Plum Blossom, this increases her max SP to 200. So unlike most characters where we have 100 SP, this one actually has 200 SP, and it also increases her SP recovery by 50%. Whenever you do utilize a persona skill of hers, it can restore her SP accordingly as well. And based on your SP recovery, whenever you consume all of this said SP, you're going to be using at least Fragrance of Time, or at least you will use Fragrance of Time. This will then provide different effects based on the amount of SP you end up using. So pretty much think of it this way: you get more SP, you have a faster SP recovery, at least recovery amount, and then alongside of this, whenever you utilize a persona skill, you get more SP back. That's first part of it, pretty clear, pretty easy. And the second part of it is, by consuming a certain amount of SP with one of her moves, aka Fragrance of Time, you get different effects. Pretty dang awesome. It's going to be based on the amount of SP consumed, so pretty cool as well. And I would say a lot of you guys are going to be very interested in this character. But now we went over at least the awarenesses, let's go ahead and go over her skills. Now this character is pretty simple. You're going to go ahead and utilize all of her skills as well. She's one of the few characters that I would highly suggest you guys to go ahead and use every last one of her skills, mainly because they're going to be used for different situations. Whenever the battle is too long, you're going to go ahead and use that under the Umbrella skill here for the skill 2. And if it's really a short battle, you can just go ahead and utilize skill 3, skill 1. This is just going to be the normal type deal here. If you are not using anyone who is like a If, for example, if you're using a single target character, skill 3, skill 1 is going to be your go-to. Though if you're using someone who's an AoE DPS, skill 3, skill 2 is probably going to be what you want the most, seeing of course it helps out more of those AoE DPSers. But with that out of the way, this is just going to be great. The easiest way to say it is all these skills do need to be upgraded. It's fairly interesting to see how that does go, but if you want to do them into a priority type style of things, skill 3, skill 1, skill 2, and then your ultimate will be the main one that you want to go for. Pretty interesting there, because every last one of these have a huge part, at least a huge part to play, and you guys definitely want to go ahead and look at that. So one of the first things that we want to go ahead and check out is at least our skill 3. Fragrance of Time, of course, costs 100% of your SP, in which by consuming a minimum of 50 SP, you can get yourself a decent bit of different effects. But this effect immediately will increase another ally's crit rate by 16% for every 2 SP consumed. And then of course, if you do have more SP consumed, it will increase the following at least percentages of these effects for 2 whole turns, up to 388 crit damage. So this is going to be crazy, because if you consume 50 SP, you get an additional amount of attack by 2.4%, and then for every 1% of wind crit damage, that will actually go up even more so based on at least if you exceed that amount. So if you exceed 100 crit damage, well, it just continues going up. Well then, if we go ahead and check out the 100 SP consumption, if you go ahead and consume at least that, you increase your crit damage by 16% of the rate of wind's crit damage. Now, if it does exceed 100%, it could be very more than that. When you of course consume the maximum amount, which is 150, this will additionally do all of that, as well increase your crit damage by 8% of wind's crit damage, and this will exceed a whole nother amount of 100%. So pretty much the more you can increase your crit damage over her cap, the better, because it's going to help you do these additional type aspects. So crit damage, SP recovery is going to be your best friend for this character. This level 3 skill is going to be your main thing to go for, so surely do keep that in mind. Now with the other things at least in hand here, we have the skill 1, in which the skill 1 does make it so they can take more wind damage here, and also inflicts them with winded, so you're going to do a lot more damage as well. Alongside of this here, it will increase your attack and crit damage depending on what you're doing. Then we have the skill 2 here, which increases all your allies' attack based on the amount of crit damage that wind does have. If it does exceed that set amount of crit damage for 2 whole turns, you then can restore your SP as well during this. So this is going to be more of your longevity type fight where you get some nice buffs out of it, though of course if it's going to be a longer fight, you're going to need that SP on back. So the S2 or the skill 2 is definitely going to be very helpful, seeing by using any persona skills, follow-ups, and or highlights, you will get your SP back even faster. So surely do keep that in mind. Now that we went over these here, we're going to go ahead and just talk about the passives, in which for Bloom and Abundant, they're both very important here. Bloom itself has a couple little things that are aspect to it, or different aspects to it. All you really got to know is by utilizing this here, you can get these said blossoms. These said blossoms do different things. By having 5 blossoms, you increase your attack percent for 8%. That is based on wind's crit damage, and it can exceed 100%. And then of course, by using 10 blossoms, you can then proceed to increase your crit damage, and this is going to be based on wind's crit damage by 100%. It's also going to help you out with skill damage as well. Then for the Abundant one here, this is mainly going to be increasing your crit damage in battle based on your SP recovery, which you guys can understand why I said you're definitely going to want to have a lot of SP recovery on this character. But now that we went ahead and actually talked about everything here, let's go ahead and show off the character and at least how they do act inside of a battle. This character, without a doubt, is going to be one of those characters that you really want to go ahead and invest into, and truly will show you how much damage you can really do. Now currently I think I use her on my actual Makoto team here, which is slightly altered, but I use her on my Makoto team and it really does come in handy quite a lot, seeing you do want to go ahead and deal as much damage as possible. But we're going to showcase these skills one by one, starting off with at least the skill 3. So the skill 3 looks something like this. It's going to be your main one that you want to go ahead and do. You put this on one character, and what it does, it consumes all your SP. In return, you get yourself crit damage, crit rate, and attack percentage, which is absolutely amazing. Definitely want to make sure you're getting that as much as possible. Now we're going to go ahead and just skip on all of this stuff, because what we want to go ahead and show is her skill 1. Now her skill 1 also does a little bit of attack, and it marks the enemy with a crit damage taken effect as well, making sure they take a lot more damage. So it would do something like this and deal some damage, as well as take down their attack. But seeing that, of course, he is, you know, a little bit invulnerable to this, we weren't able to deal damage there. Her ultimate looks something like this, which does help out your overall crit damage. So looks very beautiful, really nice to see, and then allows you to get a huge crit damage bonus. So in that mindset, she's pretty darn good with that as well. Now we're gonna go ahead and skip this turn once again here to at least showcase the skill 2, and then be at least about our way when it does come down to this character. Then the skill 2, if you did really have to utilize it, which are going to be longer fights or AoE type fights, it would look something like this, where she throws her umbrella into the air and it gives everyone a AoE type of buff. This buff is absolutely amazing. You can deal some crazy damage with it as well. Even though we have not really set up our man Makoto, he can still deal some okay-ish type damage out of it, which that's pretty decent, seeing that we have not really buffed him up at all. So I would say it's pretty nice. All in all, this character is absolutely worth it. If you guys want to go ahead and get her, be sure to do so. She's definitely worth to at least cop it, and the weapon's worth it as well. So I would definitely suggest you guys to do so. I think I actually ended up skipping the weapon section. So this is actually going to be out of order a little bit for a lot of you guys, which is my mistake there. I kind of like sped through at least the skill thing and went immediately to the actual outfits. One of the things I do have to say about this weapon here is it's absolutely worth it. It's really nice. You don't have to have it because she actually has several different weapons that you can use, being her basic 4-star, her event 4-star, her old 5-star weapon, which really is not good for this wind. If anything, you just want to use the event, what's it called? The event 4-star that you get for her specifically. This is really good because it helps you out with the attack and the SP that you do need, increasing your crit damage. So I would say if you wanted to get the 5-star weapon, it would not hurt you at all, seeing that by doing this, you actually are increasing your crit damage amount, increasing your allies' crit damage amount, and the damage dealt that's needed based on your SP that you're consuming. So technicality wise, it's really worth to get this character's weapon, seeing that she is as good of a meta support unit as possible. I would definitely highly suggest you guys to get the weapon, but if you don't want to, don't worry. They do give us a 4-star event weapon as well. That's pretty darn good that you could very well stick with as well. But now that we've doubled back and actually checked out the weapons and everything of that nature, hopefully y'all guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please do smash that like button beforehand. Consider subscribing if you are new. We do daily videos on P5X, and we're only going to continue doing more. Till then, everybody, peace out.